All right,
Okay.
here, everyone, we have John Floyd on the line today, and John is just going to go over what he's actually done to increase his success on the VideoRemix platform. Welcome in, John. How are you doing today, my friend?
I am doing excellent, Dean. Thank you for asking.
Good to hear. So on the Facebook group, you made a post that was absolutely outstanding, a few posts that have been absolutely outstanding, and you've been having a great amount of success. Where did you start, John? Give us your background.
Sure. Well, what happened, I've had a serious health issues for about 7 or 8 years, and I decided to fight them naturally. I didn't want surgery or pharmaceuticals. And so just recently, about the past 6 months, I'm back in the game. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to brand myself, not necessarily at a local consultant level, but more as a corporate level. And so I took my time, I built that out. And what my structure was, I wanted to focus in on real estate agents because I love them. They're some of the hardest working salespeople I think out there.
Right.
And so what I did was I built a structure of different offerings that I could have. Part of that would be in the video marketing. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to structure it where I have, on my side, I have very little to fulfill. That fulfillment is more on the outside, except in the video realm.
Okay.
And I have 5 kids, 3 are adults, so they actually do a lot of the video for me.
Oh, nice. So it's
yes,
a family affair.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
exactly. I pay them way more than they can make anywhere else. But so what I did was I wanted to structure this where I wanted to go after real estate agents and give them something that they can't refuse.
Okay.
So I actually use the Video Remix as my platform to get in the door.
Okay. So it was
right.
your gate. It knocked down the gates for you to get in.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then they still want things after that too.
Right.
You know, they love the video. And now I haven't yet, but I got to go, and just playing around with it, my mind's like, you know,
exploding, huh?
Yes, what I'm going to do with that. So, what I do was, and I'll, excuse me one second. There.
And show us that rebranding card that you did, because I love that you showed. That was amazing. All about getting your house in order, right? Before you go out there.
Exactly. One second. There we go. So this is I designed the logo. And, yeah, and even the call sign, which is leave valets, we open doors for you.
I love that.
Yeah. So here's what I did, Dean. And I don't mind, but there's so much real estate out there, and there's so many potential clients out there. I don't mind telling people what I do. I have no problem with that. It's totally transparent. So what I do is I go on Facebook, and I look for real estate agents that they have a lot of postings. Okay, they're regular. They're posting their listings. And the reason I do that is because I have to have someone that gets it. They might not know how to do it,
right?
But they get it.
They get it. And what is it that you get? That they need marketing?
Well, they need marketing. They know that online marketing, pictures, videos are what they're going to have to do.
Okay.
You know, and so that part of the sales process is out of the way. I don't have to educate on, why it's important. So what I do was I approach them in this manner. I go on there, I find a real estate agent that they get it. Their postings are all through there. They have a professional headshot. They know they look good. They're professional.
Okay.
Because that makes my job easier. because
Right.
as I'm sending them leads or I'm generating business for them, when people check them out, they first of all, it's going to be better for them because they look professional.
Exactly.
So yeah. So anyways, I go to them. I'll make one, sometimes two videos for them. Sometimes I'll do a listing. Sometimes I'll just make a generic one. It just, depends on what the mood hits me. And I'll send them a quick message through Facebook and I say, hey, I did this video for you. It's a freebie. It's all yours. Just let me know how you want me to send it to you, or I can post it on your Facebook for you. If you're having struggling, I can, get your login and do it for you. I'm happy to do that for you. And that's it.
That's all.
That's all I do.
That's all you do.
And
So you
yes,
basically make now I want to go back and I think that we need to reiterate this because it's such a huge thing because of the success that you have been able to have. When you said that you go on Facebook and it's almost like stalking your prey, you want to make
yes,
sure that you're with people who get it, right?
yes,
That are
yes.
already putting themselves out there. How important is that to the whole process of you actually landing clients who are able to pay what you're charging?
Well, see, that's the interesting thing. I actually did a split test. I
Okay.
just I pulled a list of random real estate agents. I processed the emails. I did an email marketing campaign. Um, the the extra time that it takes me to go and find that person on a personal level and to do something personally for them, compared to the email campaign, the ROI there's not even an argument with it. It's huge. There's no point in wasting your time going otherwise.
Right.
So yeah, and I also look for that they're doing listings that are uh, the housing market. It depends on the market, but at least in the 250 to $500,000 range house.
Okay.
The reason being is because I know that one lead, one sale for them a month, and they have doubled what they're paying me.
Exactly.
So
Okay. So you're paying for yourself. If you get them one lead, you're paying for yourself.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. So they
Okay.
close a deal, and usually a real estate agent like that, they'll usually, within a month's time, if they get 8 or 9 leads, they're going to close at least one of them minimum.
Gotcha.
House closing, because there's a process on that. That's not a quick sale thing. So so when I look for that type agent, I give them the video, and it's interesting. Even on those, I only get about a 25 to 30% response rate in accepting it. That's amazing to me. Someone give you something free and you turn it down.
And you turn it
But
down, right?
yeah, but that's okay, because 30% out of that 30%, I'm probably closing. I haven't crunched the numbers lately, but I'm probably closing 75% of those.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so
Right.
30% you're 30% are actually replying back, but out of that 30%, you're being able to close 75%. So
Correct.
all those other the extra time that you put into finding the right agents, finding the right fit for you,
Right.
all that time, when it gets time to closing, it's almost like,
Exactly.
it's easy.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so I know that, it depends on the industry that you're focused on. It depends on what you can get for your services. Okay. I mean, it's, you can have the best service there is, but, uh, excuse me, that was my phone call. Um,
Another
but
client, another close.
yes, yes. You can have the best service in the world, but if your price point is not within what, not necessarily their budget, but what they consider a value
Right.
for your services, then, so you have a real estate agent that, $250,000 home, them spending $1,200 to $1,400 a month with you is not that big a deal.
Right.
Now you do a roofer. Now roofer has, that they're still in a high margin, 2,500, maybe $3,000 a roof on a
Right.
residential roof. So they could still pay the same, but
Okay.
in their mindset, it's not there.
The
So
mindset's not the same as the real estate
right,
agent though.
right.
Right.
So you're going to come in at about a $700 or $800 price point, you know. So you know, which is fine. You can still make money if you know what you're doing.
I love that. I mean, I think that when I try to explain pricing, because a lot of people always ask, what do I charge? What do I charge? What do I charge? Like, give me, because I loved how easily you made that sound. And I think that people will appreciate it. Could you expand a little bit more on how you actually set pricing up by which niche you're actually going for? Because I love how you just said that, but I think that people need to really, really hear it again. So could you explain that again?
Right, sure. So look at it this way. Look at a person's income. Look at a typical plumber, okay, that is maybe a 2 or 3 man shop, okay. So he's doing pretty well. He's probably making 100 grand, you know, 90 to $120,000. But since he's a blue collar guy, I guarantee you he's still shopping at Walmart. Okay, he probably has a Sam's Club card. Okay, when he goes in to purchase a new vehicle, he is very price conscious. Okay, he watches his spending. So that person, I don't care how much he's making, I don't care how much he's making per deal, you're not going to come in right at the same point and get him as much as you would an attorney, a real estate person, a life coach,
Right.
psychiatrist. You know, it's just not there. Now you can still build them up to the same value, but you're going to have to come in at a lower price point to get them sold, prove to them what you're doing, and then move on.
And then move on, right? Which is very,
Correct.
very, very important. And that's why you spend so much time prospecting the right clients to get what you actually feel like you deserve.
Right, right. And it also comes back to your mindset too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Tell them
So,
about
so
the mindset. The mindset.
well, you know, there's not a right or a wrong. It's what you're comfortable with. You know, if you feel comfortable in an arena where you're charging $700-800 a month and you're making a good profit at that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You know, if you feel confident enough that you want to pursue, you know, some people are uncomfortable talking to like an attorney. Okay. And they don't, you know, for them. So why would you pursue them? Don't do it.
Don't
You
do
know,
it.
because you're not going to sell anything.
Right.
You know,
if you can't come off confident and you're not confident in what you offer and the value that you have, there's no point in doing it.
Right. 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 So kind of look at yourself and put yourself in that prospect's shoes. You know, what are their value points? You know, a lot of times you can go on a person's Facebook page, and if you scroll down long enough, you're going to pretty much figure out what kind of person they are. Okay. You're really going to understand their political stance, which, you know, I don't get involved in that, but I know what to stay away from. You know, you're going to get their religious views. You're going to get their life choice views. You're going to get where their value points are. You know,
Okay.
it's not, this isn't throw it against the wall and stick stuff. I prefer to really know my audience, because even when I structure my Facebook, when I send a message through Messenger, I structure it in a way that I feel that it's going to best benefit them.
Right. And it's all about benefiting them, right?
Yes, correct. If you give, you know, look, it goes back to the old, I think it was Zig Ziglar. I don't know, I might be dating myself here, but Zig Ziglar is if you fulfill others' needs, then they will fulfill yours.
Right. Exactly.
I'm paraphrasing.
It's such a huge thing, and it's not something that everyone you know, everyone sometimes they take it too lightly, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. Now, I have to ask you something. I don't mind sharing this at all because again, there's plenty of business out there for everybody. But I have a thought pattern on the video remix that I'm thinking about doing, which would um, not only build up a client list, but also would explode your Facebook page. If you want to hear it.
I would love to hear it. Do you want to give it to it? Because this is something that's going to be played back during a webinar. Do you want to give it now, or do you want to talk to me about that off on the side?
I tell you what, let's do a side point on
Okay.
that, and you tell me what you think, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, let's
I
do
might
it.
not want to share it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
let's do a side point because I want some
Okay.
secrets we have to keep to ourselves for right now, right?
Absolutely, Dean. Absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, one of the and I think that this is what I loved about when we've actually spoken or and we've communicated is that everyone has a backstory. You know, John, everyone has something that they went through in life that they had to overcome. And I would like to kind of expand, if you don't mind, expand on some of the difficulties that you've had to overcome because it's not like you had an easy road. You know what I mean? It's not like
No.
you were just like, oh, you know, I'm John, let me do this. I have all of these connections. You went through something personally that put you down for a while, correct? And like you said,
Yes.
you had 5 kids.
Yes. Well. Let me give you the full backstory. So, just to let you know, I was in corporate sales. I worked actions, and what we did was we went in with companies that were in receivership, and we did forensic accounting, and then kind of cleaned up the AR. I guess is the best way to put it. And I was a sales guy. Now I don't have a college education, anything like that, but um, I learned I can almost hold my own with a CPA as far as talking about AR and AP. And so, but what I found was two things. One, almost every company that went into receivership, one of their biggest problems was they were not marketing the new way. They had been around a long time, or the owner had been around a long time, and they were very stuck in their ways as far as sales and marketing, and
Mm,
they weren't willing to change with the times. It was that, and
gotcha.
there was a couple other factors, but that was one that really stood out with me. The second part is that as a sales guy, what I had was in the early 2000s, I started getting voicemail, 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 voicemail. I couldn't sell anything because I couldn't reach anybody over the phone. So
Right.
I started working within LinkedIn. Okay. And until I deleted my profile off of LinkedIn, I had almost 17,000 contacts. But there's another,
Wow.
yeah, there's another story why I deleted that, but that's a whole nother ball game. Uh,
Okay.
so but so what I found was I started learning how to do at least one part of the online marketing structure. From there, I learned about SEO, affiliate marketing, a lot of different things, and but being on a plane 3 weeks out of the month, and when you go visit clients, because I dealt with a lot with banks, the first thing they want to do is go get steak and lobster. So, guess what? I'm never exercising. I'm in a high stress position. I'm always traveling, and I'm eating very bad food for you
Right.
every day, you know. And when I'm not eating with them, I'm even, the triple whopper, triple cheese, triple bacon type thing.
Right.
So I was up to 420 pounds. Um, yes, yes. Uh,
420 pounds.
Yes, yes. I had liver issues. I had pancreatic issues. I had um, kidney issues. When when I walked up the steps in my house, I had to pause about halfway. I was sucking air, you know. And so finally, I had to decide, do I keep working and leave my family, the money and everything, or do I pull back and stay with the family? But, we're going to be in a financial bind. And so I downsized everything that I could. I got out of the corporate rat race, and I was in such bad shape, I really couldn't work. I piddled around a little bit here and there. I did a few little things, but nothing was really what I call successful, because I just really didn't feel like doing it,
Right. You
and
didn't jump
everything.
2 feet in.
Right. And so, like I said, I didn't want to do the surgery. I didn't want to get the pharmaceuticals. So what I decided to do was to learn naturally what to do. So now I'm down to about 345.
Nice.
Yeah, I got about another 40 pounds to go, but I didn't focus on weight loss. I focused on health. There's
Okay.
no such thing as a healthy fat person.
Right.
So, you focus on health, you naturally lose the weight. So in that process, though, when it, I finally, 6 months ago, it's like it all came together, and all of a sudden I had the energy back like I used to, and I'm 51, and it actually was interesting because it worked out just about right, because I savings were drained, and things were getting down to the wire. So um, I was able to leverage some money, and then I took and started rebranding myself, and this is where I'm at the point now.
Is that
So
when you actually came into contact with VideoRemix 6 months ago, or how long have you actually been with VideoRemix? When did you first see us?
I connected up, I think it was a little bit before that, but
Okay.
a lot of things, I'll buy online and I really don't get to it till a month or so later.
The shiny
And
object syndrome.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, it was kind of the process, oh, that looks good, I'll take it, but I got to finish this, and we get to that.
Right.
So I finally, when I got into it, and because I'm that type personality, either I'm 110% or I'm zero. There's
Right.
no middle
In
ground. So,
between. Right.
it's either you love me or hate me, because that's the way it is, you know. So once I got into it, though, and I was already structuring everything that I was wanting, it just, like that, it was
It
perfect.
just connected. It just connected
Yes.
for you. Now,
Yes.
one thing that you're doing that a lot of that we teach consistently and consistently and consistently is that people always have that mentality of, well, if I give something away from free, how do I turn it into making money? And you have been able to take that concept and just flip it around on its head and completely change the narrative of it. How did you do that? Because your whole start is I'm going to give it for free first and get in, and then you're going to sell them after that when you've actually gotten in. Why did you take that route?
Well, okay, so flip this around. If you're a real estate agent, you have a budget for marketing, right? So
Right.
marketing is going to cost one or two things, or both. It's going to cost cash, or it's going to cost time, or a combination thereof. Okay. So what I look at is the VideoRemix is my marketing budget. So the great thing is that, it doesn't cost me that much, but time, you
Right.
know, and that's fine, because again, I go back to, I look for highly targeted potential clients. Okay. One, they get it. No, two, I know they got the money. I eliminate that issue.
Okay.
So yeah, so when someone tells me I really don't have the money, okay, so okay, what does that mean? That you don't trust me? I mean, that's really what it boils down to. You
That's
don't
what it
trust that I
boils
can do
down
what
to.
I'm doing, right? And that's fine, because you know what, the next person will. I never try to push a sale. You
Okay.
know, because one of the beautiful things about uh, getting a highly targeted client and getting one that gets it and getting one that gets you and you get them is that they become a long-standing client. And
that's how you do the recurring.
That's right. And recurring revenue is what it's all about.
All about.
If you have to continuously churn clients, you're going to kill yourself. You're going to get
yourself with effort and time.
Yeah, you're going to stress yourself out, and you'll walk away. You go, well, VideoRemix didn't work for me. It doesn't work. And no, you didn't work for VideoRemix.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes. I love it. I love it. So tell us, all right, your process. You reinvented yourself. You went through this stuff that was, a total transformation. Not only did you transform your body, but it seems like, and you rebranded yourself, but you transformed your mind, which was so, and I love what you just said. VideoRemix, a lot of people, oh, it didn't work for me. No, you didn't work for VideoRemix. So after you did that, how did you actually go out and start doing what you're doing? 10 clients from your Facebook post that are paying you the amount that they're paying you. I know how you got into it, but what are you actually doing to fulfill that and make that reoccurring income?
Well, I use outsourcers for 90% of my fulfillment. There's a lower margin, but for me personally, if I had 20 clients that I had to do everything for,
right,
that would be it. I couldn't go any further.
Right. You couldn't scale up.
20 clients would be it, and I really couldn't even help them scale up. I would maximize. I would be at 12-hour days, So what I knew is that I had to get my outsourcers in place. And again, I go back to outsourcers is that not only do I have to sell them on my dream, but they have to sell me on their abilities. So in the beginning, I tried 2 or 3 different ones to see which one would fulfill. Now, because of the cost factor involved, I really didn't make a lot of money. In fact, I was almost at 0 point my first 4.
Okay.
Because I here, you try this, you try that, and you try this. Let's see which one not only, fulfills on time, but also maximizes results. So, with that, I found my outsourcers that I needed to form that core group. And just to let you know, I believe in sharing the wealth. So if an outsourcer says, well, John, I need $200 for this, I pay him $250 or $300.
Gotcha.
And why? Because you know what? I'll be their best client.
You'll be their best client. And that's going to be able to help you also scale, because now they have skin in the game also. Your success becomes their success. So how successful have you been lately? Now it's time that you're so humble with it, and I love that. But people care about numbers, so let them know, how have you been able to grow and how rapidly? Because when you contacted me, you told me, what did you tell me, John? You said exactly, I'm going to grow this to how many people like you? I've almost never seen anyone the first time that they contact me say, hey, I don't care what happens. I don't care anything about like whether this isn't working, this system isn't working, or that. I am in good shape now and I'm going to scale that. What did you tell me that you were going to scale it to? Do you remember?
100 clients.
Yeah, you told me 100 clients. It was our first interaction together. You were like, you didn't care about, is Go working this way or videos rendering. You said 100 clients. This is what I'm going to do. Now, how many clients have you landed so far?
Well, from my original post, I've doubled that.
You've doubled your original post already. Now, your original post was that, I believe that your original post was 10, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
So your original post was 10, and that was less than 7 days ago?
Mm, yeah, it's somewhere maybe a little bit longer.
Maybe a
Maybe a
little
little
bit
bit. I
longer.
don't.
So let's say 10
Yeah,
days ago. So in 10
10 days.
days, you've been able to double the amount that when
Yes.
you originally made that declaration, when you originally came in and said, listen, Dean, this is what I'm going to do. You've been able to do that
Yes.
in 10 days.
Yes. Well, in full disclosure, when I posted that, I had about 4 in the wings. I'd already.
Okay. So you have 4 in
I
the
get
hopper.
old sales term here. I sandbagged them. I had these already. So truly new, fresh clients, that come on board, and understand too. And this part I really don't want to share, but I'll give you a high level overview of it. I when we come in, I do the freebie, and then I offer something very inexpensive too. That they, it's kind of a no brainer.
Right.
Basically, I might offer an additional video, or something else. But so there was a lot more clients. But when I talk about clients, I'm talking about monthly recurring revenue clients.
Right. And what are you charging? Because on your post, and I just love your energy when it comes to it. But on your post, you were like, listen, I'm charging a certain amount, and I'll let you tell everyone. But when I charge this amount, it's going like hotcakes. So what are you actually charging reoccurring?
Well, within the real estate market, I'm hitting anywhere from $1,200 to $1,400 per month.
Per month, per realtor.
Right.
And now, are they on a long-term contract with you? Do they sign a contract with you?
No,
Or how is that?
I have no contracts. I do everything month to month. Anytime they
Okay.
want to quit, they can quit. I don't, I never want to hold anybody back. And look, I'm a sales guy. Okay. So just to let you know, this is how I approach everybody. I tell them, I say, look, I never want you to begrudge writing me a check. Okay. If I want you to go, oh my goodness, thank goodness I'm writing John Floyd a check for this amount of money.
Because you've
Um,
made them that amount of money.
Exactly. So, you can have a client paying you $10,000 a month very easily, and if you're providing them 70, 80, $100,000 a month in revenue, why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they?
You know?
Why would they say
Yeah.
no to that?
Yeah.
So
In fact,
basically,
go ahead.
you're making them enough to pay for your services, which makes it a no-brainer.
Exactly. In fact, I have some clients, they send me bonuses.
Do they really? They send you extra.
Yeah.
That
They'll
is
send me extra.
incredible.
Well, I see it that way. I tell them, say, look, if you land one additional sale for me, well, I've done my job. You've made money off of me. But if I land you 4 or 5, take care of me.
Right.
Okay.
And it works
And
perfect.
it works perfect. Some do, some don't. I really don't.
That
All
it
right.
looks like
That's okay.
our meeting actually stopped. So okay, so we're back. So you were just saying that you have people that actually are paying you bonuses right now.
Yes.
Some
Yeah. So
some do, some don't.
right. I let their heart move them what they
Right.
want to do, and I don't expect it, but it's always nice.
It's
So
it always is nice.
yeah,
It always
yeah,
is nice. So your thing is all about scalability, okay? All about
correct.
actually being able to scale. Now you've told us how you've gotten it, your family into it, the kids into it, and everything like that. Where do you see yourself in the next, let's say, 30 to 60 days? Where are you headed? What is John ready to accomplish using VideoRemix and the services that you're providing to these agents? What's your goal next?
Sure. Well, what I want to do is I want to reach a level that I can approach a corporate level structure
Okay.
and have a package for them that I get on an approved vendor list. And once you get on an approved vendor list with a large company that has like a franchise structure, like real estate, even plumbers, whoever has a large franchise type structure or agent structure, that once you get on an approved vendor list, then you can market to them exclusively. So you know, and you're on a approved vendor list, and it's, man, it's I've done it before in long time ago in my other previous life, and it gets pretty sweet
It
after
gets
that.
pretty sweet. So what are you
Yeah.
talking about with like, what are you talking about like approved vendors list? What would be the potential customers that you could bring in being on an approved vendors list?
Okay. So like I'll use a past life experience. Um, there's a large sign company based out of Texas, and what they do is you can buy into the franchise. Okay, so you know it's like any other franchise. It's X amount. You know, you get their branding. You know, it's a franchise deal like any other franchise. So you come in as a vendor and you say, okay, here's what I can offer to all your franchisees.
Okay.
Okay, and they take a look at it. You know, you do the meeting thing. You know, the dog and pony. Usually, you'll offer them a freebie on a corporate level. You know, or pick one of their franchisees to offer to show them what you can do. You know, actual real results. Once they say yes, yes, John, we want you to do this. What'll happen is usually a franchisor they offer a franchisee certain marketing dollars. You know, they'll match. So if the franchisee puts 1,000 in, they'll match that a certain percentage. You know,
Okay.
50% of that, 100% of that. You know, it all depends. So what you can do is you structure your deal where, let's say you're at $1,000 a month price point. So you know they'll say yes, they're an approved vendor. Here's a list. Go market to them. Usually they'll hand you over the list, emails, phones, addresses, and everything. And then you can just reach out to those franchisees and say, hey, I'm on your corporate vendor list. I would like to, here's what I'm offering you. Would you be interested in taking a look at it? And I mean, it's still a sales process. You're still
Okay.
selling.
You're still
But,
selling.
yeah, but you've got the backup of corporate.
Right.
And again, marketing dollars are allocated. So you're taking a little bite out of it. I mean, if you're $1,000 price point, they might only have to come out of $500 of that.
Mm.
Because they're going to get it back.
Because they're going to get it back. And how
Correct.
many potential people, like you're talking about a whole franchise. So let's just use, I think McDonald's would be too big to be able to use, but you're talking about thousands of franchisees under you, correct?
At least. Even let's scale it down. You could go to a company that is more regional. Maybe they're in 5 states.
Okay.
But again, you're talking maybe 500, 700, 300, even 300.
300, right?
300. It could be a small deal. It doesn't have to be that big.
Right.
I mean, you think about if you're on an approved vendor list, in the past performance, I usually will close 50% of them.
Okay.
Right. So take a small regional, maybe it only has 300. That's 150 clients.
Right.
At $1,000 a month.
Recurring.
What recurring? What's the problem?
Wait, there's no issue with that at all. There's no issue with that. So,
but when you do that, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, but when you do that, you've got to come with your A game.
Right. You got to come correct.
Right, and that's why I structured the corporate structure, because when I'm ready for it, and I'm not ready yet. I would say, by February, I'll be ready. You've got to have money backing you. When they want to meet, you got to be able to jump on that plane and go see them.
Okay.
And you got to wine and dine, dog and pony, all that stuff. So you got to be really prepared for them. But when you do, you only need one.
Right. One gets you in the door.
Right. So look, we all have different measurements of success. I've been successful working like a dog, and away from my family. That's not the kind of success I want. So when you talk about scalability, there will be a point that I'll say that's enough.
That's enough.
I want to maintain. I may want to sell out.
That's always a good thought. And a lot of people don't think of it that way. But once you grow so big, the money is actually selling that off and being able to either start something new or go a different place or go and, you know, buy your own island or whatever it may be
Right.
and hang out with those 5 kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah, if you put it together right, you know, you can take recurring monthly income times 30 and sell out. You know, so if you've got, you know, if you got $100,000 a month coming in, you do the math.
right. Companies want that, and they want,
Right.
because you've already done all of the hard work. The hard work's been done
Correct.
for them. All they have to do is maintain, decrease churn, and not have people churning over.
Right.
But by that time, they're going to know what your churn rates are, how long people are staying on, what your client's
Right.
lifetime value is, and all of those things are already going to be there for them. So
Right.
if you
You know,
could give,
right.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, if you could
No,
give any pointers to people out there that are kind of stuck. I mean, your story is, you know, we're all going through things. And even like you said that you were stuck for a moment. But if you could give any advice to people out there that are using the VideoRemix platform and are feeling like, how do I turn this into dollars? They're buying shiny thing after shiny thing. What tips would you give them?
well, I'd say the first thing is look at your accounts receivable and look at your accounts payable. Okay, they can't be like this. They have to be like this. Okay, so get your AR, and then you can look at all the shiny objects you want.
Right.
Okay, so what my advice is to sit down, pull back a little bit, and sit down and figure out. Okay, I want to be here, and I am here. Okay, what do I need to do here to structure it the right way that I can get here? Okay, and so build out what you want to do. It doesn't have to be perfect because it never will be perfect. You'll be tweaking as you go, but structure it in a way that it's going to be successful.
Okay.
Even if you're only, you could start out, you know, if your fulfillment cost is $150 a month and you want to charge 300, knock yourself out. If that's what you, if you think you can sell a lot, you want to do volume, do it. Get it to the point where you're at your comfort level.
Okay.
Then pull back and say, okay, so I'm here now, but the way you structured it, you can build it out as big as you want. You know, make it where scalability is, you can go as far as you want to go, but you've got to set it up here to begin with to be successful over here.
And you were a huge action taker also. What do you think about,
Correct.
what tips would you take for people that are, because I get a lot of questions where people are like, they get hung up on the little things. Like they're like, well, how much do I charge? And what I try to tell them is that before you can even figure out how much you got to charge, you got to get a client first. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to get someone.
Right. So here, okay, I'm from the South. Okay, I live in St. Louis now, which a lot of people still consider the South, but I'm from the South, and I'll tell you some homespun advice my grandpa gave me. Okay, he said a blind squirrel with a broke leg will find a nut in the forest if he searches hard enough. Okay, you got to go sell something.
You got to do something.
You got to do something. So this is the way I look at it. If you set a price point, okay, now you know online marketing, the margins are humongous. Okay, so give yourself some play. Okay, playroom. So let's say you set a price point of $1,000. Okay, you set up your structure. You've got everything in place. You got your mark. You know what you're going to do. Right? You go after it. After 20 people, no one's not even, they're not even closely interested. Okay, drop it down. Start dropping it down. Play with it. You know what a lot of guys I'll do. I'll say, well, it's $1,000 a month. And they, you know, that dead silence. And you go, but you know what? I tell you what, if you can give me X, you know what? I'll make it $7.99 for you for the first 3 months. I'll make it
Just for 3
$500.
months.
I'll make it $500 the first 3 months. I don't
Right.
care. I still make some.
You're
okay?
still making something, and you're not in the negative.
That's right. Not in the negative.
Right.
Okay. And then from there, you can figure out what that target market that you have, what they're willing to buy from you. Okay. You'll figure it out real quick.
Yeah.
Right? I will say this big advice: pick your niche.
Pick a niche. And let's talk about that for a second. I know we've been on here for a while, and I'm going to get you off soon, but I tell people a lot is that one of the major issues that I see with a lot of people that are out there is that they are the masters of nothing. You know what I mean? They have, they're offering everything over the sun because they bought a product and that product says that it can do this. So you go to their website and they're doing 10 different things, but they're the masters of none. And what happens is that a lot of your marketing now is done, and you do this all the time. You say that when you're looking up your potential clients and things like that, you want to make sure that they get it, right? So you look up in Facebook, you stalk their Facebook, you know who the people are, because when you actually hand them over, you know that it's going to be able to help them close, and whatever traffic you bring to them, they're going to be able to close that because they get it, you know? And what I do is I see a lot of people and they're offering everything over the sun, but I try to let them know that it's kind of confusing. If I'm going to John and John is telling me, you know, if I'm going to Lead Valet and Lead Valet is saying, we'll open doors for you, that's specific. It's we'll open doors for you. Now, how you're going to open those doors may vary by different variables, but also you've stuck to one or two niches. Why has that been so important for you to be the master of one or two niches?
Well, the reason, Dean, is this, is that you, first of all, you get to know that niche, okay? Like, for example, if you're going after, you know, I've been around car guys my whole life, you know, car salespeople, okay? Just, I don't know why, it just am. And their lingo is like, you know, a dealership to them, when you walk into a car dealer and you say, well, I want to help your dealership, first of all, they automatically know you don't know what you're talking about, because dealerships call themselves rooftops, okay? So because you can have a Chevy dealership and he might have 10 different Chevy dealerships in 10 different areas. So you're saying you're going to help every one of them and you're just a city consultant? No. You're coming in to help that rooftop, okay? And you don't know who to talk to, because in dealerships, it's the general manager. The general manager rules everything. He can sign off on anything. You know, you don't understand their advertising budget. You know, a small dealership that sells 100 cars is their budget's $250,000, $300,000 a month in ad dollars. Okay, so you know, when you come in at $1,000 a month, they don't even want to talk to you because they know you don't have the scale to handle them. You couldn't offer me anything. You know. So again, you have to understand your market. Understand, you know, I look up all the time different real estate. I read what they say on their websites. I read in their forums, because I want to be able to talk their same language. And I want to understand them. You know, you got to understand what they make, how they make it, how they talk, what their pain points are. You've got to understand that. And the only way you're really going to, I mean, you can go out and read all you want, but the only way you're really going to do is get out there and talk to them. You got to have conversation, man. But if you're smart, through the conversations, you have your notepad right beside you and you're taking notes, because you'll very quickly start to understand what their pain points are, what their lingo is, and how you need to structure things to help them and to also close the deal.
To close the deal also. Okay. To close the deal. So that's why why you tell everyone they should have their niche so that they can learn the actual lingo.
Right. Okay. And you become the expert in that field. When they go on your Facebook page or they go on your LinkedIn or your website, whatever, this is the guy. I mean, he knows plumbers like the back of his hand. He's and stuff. I mean, it's all how you structure it and how you talk to them.
Good. Well, John, I have loved this interview. I think that people are going to take so much information away from it. You have been able to scale at a tremendous rate. I'm actually we're going to talk a little bit more after I close this one down. But if there's one last point that you would like to give everyone, it could be anything under the sun. What would you actually say?
Okay, so I'm gonna use something that I learned a long time ago from a company. I don't even know they're still around anymore. When you create steam in an old steam engine train, what does that steam do for the train?
Moves it.
But the difference between movement and non-movement is 1 degree. If you're at 211 degrees, you don't move. So you can have a lot of things in place, but if you don't create the steam, you won't create the movement. And so if you're not creating the movement, then you're not creating enough steam.
You're not creating enough steam.
Right. So, and how do you create steam? Fire. So a lot of fire under your rear end. Okay. And get going.
Get going.
You have to have the steam, the movement to create that. You have to have that fire. You have to have that steam before your engine's going to move. So, if you're expecting to try to reach out to 2 potential clients a day, and you want to make $100,000 a year, well, your expectations of what you're going to get is not in line. And the thing is you have to believe, you have to be honest with yourself. I mean, for me, I'm 51, in my mind, I could look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime at 21 years old.
Right.
But that's not my reality.
Right.
So,
that's not your reality.
That's right. So you have to be honest with yourself and see where you're at. And then, you don't have to beat yourself up. Okay. But you have to be honest, and, it is what it is. So take your reality, boil down your reality, and then go make your dream from that.
Nice. I love it, John. So thank you so much for this interview. We are, you're a part of our Facebook group. We definitely want to know how you are doing and keeping it up. We wish you nothing but success. I know people are going to love this interview, and actually the bits of knowledge that you gave them and the actionable steps that you've actually given. I could tell that you're a true salesman over there, man. I might have to bring you on webinars more often, my friend.
Well, I'm open. If I'm not selling, I'll be happy to talk to you.
Sounds good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close this down, and then I'm going to give you a call in a few minutes, and we'll talk about
Sure.
Our little secret thing that we were going to talk about, because I can't wait to hear what you have in store, because I'm really interested. All right.
I'll text you my mobile number.
Okay, sounds good, John. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Bye.
Mm-hmm. Bye.